Thanks for tuning in to Histories and Mysteries with Sally Toole and Mark. So here we are out by the Chattahoochee River. If you can hear it. All right, so we just kind of found this really randomly. This is William McIntosh's grave. He was born in 1775 and he died in 1825. He did serve as a Tennessee volunteer under Andrew Jackson in the War of 1812. But of course we know that he signed away, I'm going to go see the sign about him. He signed away all of his native people's land, and he was killed for it. Because William McIntosh's mother was a native Creek and his father was an Irish-American immigrant, his other name that the Creek knew him by was White Warrior. McIntosh was the chief of the Coweta Towns, distinguished soldier in battle of Odyssey, and at Horseshoe Bend. We talked about that yesterday. And in the Seminole Wars, with the rank of Brigadier General, he was killed by Upper Creeks and is buried here. On February 12, 1825, McIntosh and 8 other chiefs signed the Treaty of Indian Springs. This treaty ceded the remaining Creek land of Georgia, the upper and lower towns of Coweta, plus 3 million acres in Alabama, ceded to the United States in exchange for $200,000. He had quite a view. There's a lake down there. Let's see what all this is talking about. So, William McIntosh. He spoke English. This is a memorial from him, hewn from West Georgia limestone. Here at the home of Creek Chief William McIntosh, a treaty establishing a new boundary between the Cherokee and the Creek was drafted in 1821 and December 11th. On February 12, 1825, McIntosh and 8 other chiefs signed the Treaty of Indian Springs. This treaty ceded the remaining Creek land of Georgia, the upper and lower towns of Coweta, plus 3 million acres in Alabama, ceded to the United States in exchange for $200,000. When the Creek National Council learned of this, they protested in Washington, D.C., and the treaty was found illegal. However, the state of Georgia ignored that declaration from the federal government and proceeded to move the Creek out of Georgia. And this was the chief's home. Let's go inside. This is a really neat little side trip, unexpected, love it. This was his home. This was the chief's home, it says.
One like the one he lived in.
The original home burned in 1825. On April 30th of 1825, the council sent a delegation of Creek to the home of William McIntosh, where they set it afire. He came running from the burning building only to be shot numerous times, and he died here at the scene. So this is a recreation.
Yeah, this one was brought from Alabama.
Acorn Bluff Inn and Tavern. Moved here in 1987. Pretty neat history, though.
It really is. I'm gonna go find that.
To sneak inside, let me go check it out. Chief is buried over there, though. The park ranger actually informed us that it's a mystery as to whether William McIntosh is actually buried here. Law prohibits them from exhuming the grave to prove this fact one way or the other.
Very cool.
That must be the Chattanooga River down there. Stealth camping.
Small doors. People were smaller back then.
It's perfect for you. They got all their equipment in there.
They do. Not going to bother. Some other folks are out here filming, just looking around. And we'll find out what it is they're doing. Not going up those steps. They look a little sketchy
They're
to me.
fine.
That's upstairs.
Let's take one last look at the mysterious grave of William McIntosh, one-time chief of the Creek Nation. At the time of his death, McIntosh had 3 wives. They begged the executioners for clothing to bury him in. However, the executioners refused, and they dumped his naked body into this gravesite.
He was killed by his own people because he gave up their native land. When he went to fight with the Tennessee Volunteers, Andrew Jackson promised them they would keep their homeland forever. And there he is. He was very instrumental in the removal of the native creek, and he is buried here.
Many of McIntosh's descendants voluntarily moved to Indian Territory in modern-day Oklahoma. His son Chili served as a Confederate officer during the Civil War. Daughter Kate and her family were pre-statehood pioneers in the panhandle of Florida. His daughter Rebecca moved to Texas with her husband, and by 1860 was the wealthiest woman in Texas, owning thousands of acres of plantation there. Great little side trip to McIntosh Reserve. Where will we go next? Stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, be sure to like and subscribe. A shout out to our supporters: Gabby's Cabins, Lula Mercantile and Vintage Shop, Jim and Marilyn Greer, Beaconberry Farms, Ryan at WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, the President Theater, the Ritz Theater. If you'd like to support our channel, just leave a comment or send me an email. There's lots of ways to support histories and mysteries.